trick or treat. Year after year, literary persons, Ed Sanders, Robert Creeley, myself, organizations, the American chapter of Pen Club, representing 1,100 U.S. writers, have petitioned the state of Michigan for release of poet-musician John Sinclair from entrapment by police, court, jails, 9.5 to 10-year sentence, no appeal bail, silly maximum security for 2 joint busts. This case articulates the bankruptcy of middle class, law and order work within the system, rationalizations of irrational public injustice. No lawmaker, judge, or policeman in Michigan can argue their own respectability, while their state bureaucracy conspires to outrage law and order by keeping Sinclair in prison. For the 10th time, October 30th, 1971, chanted, written, and played by Allen Ginsberg for prayer for John Sinclair.
Were bursting all around me, baby. of God was everywhere. I could hear my people screaming. A siren. Fill the air, fill the air, fill the air, yeah. Don't know what the trouble is. They can't see what it's all about. I said your mama and papa don't know what the trouble is. They just don't know what it's all about. To get the reality from the newspapers, you best get out there in the street. Check it out, check it out. Wow. There's a lot of things burning, baby. There's a burning out, they're all burning. It's a world out of ashes, baby. Yeah. Morrison for the people. You best not stick around to find it out. I said, Morrison for the people. Best not hang out, hang around and find it out. Take my wife and my people. Yes, that's the little RTs are talking about. Yeah, yeah. Oh, hey, 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 hey.
I begin to realize every day just how much this man means to me. How much. You are sorry you are born with ears, or you are sorry your ears. How it can become the stuff of such lies, or its inexhaustible truth. How a man like you and me can stand and fall, stand, a coil around things. A sound, his sound, a twisting and groaning, a scream for the time, an irrevocable beauty. One. And let me interject here. I've taken things from some of these things that you'll be hearing from Leroy Jones and A.B. Spellman today as introductions or as pieces within it, so you'll hear them again. This is one. John Coltrane can do this for us. Teach us to stand like giants in the face of the most devastating insensitivity. Can touch us where the hand or mouth or eye can't go. Can see, can be a man in a fog of boys and emotional lepers. Can love, can make a love from centuries of unplumbed music and a common metal tool anyone can misuse. Can make you think of a lot of weird and wonderful things. Yourself. Beauty, love, gold and miles of trees, Elvin Jones, murdered dreams, apocalypse, turtles, Armageddon, the moon, and beyond. Ornette, grapefruit, silver pendulums, and, when you've forgotten it, time. I myself, I stand in awe of this man. I find myself in the most unseeming places, thousands of actual miles and trees, trying to hear him, and screaming, jumping up and down, and crying, straining for a new dignity out of the ruin of my lack. I find myself wanting to talk about you before anyone can listen, before time, before the hatred and ugliness of this world, before promises and lies, before it all collapses on our heads, before it's too late. 2. And this is taken from A.B. Spellman's review, where he says, if you've ever sat in a Coltrane audience, you'll understand what I mean. It could happen to you, too, a loss of control, a beginning of reshaping of what they've always told you to believe. the old forms and music that we've been fooled with, the songs they gave you and lied. When we begin to understand that what we've been told is how they can put us exactly where they have to believe we have to be. 3. Man, if you can't hear, what can you do? You're born with ears. 4, for Elvin Jones. Born with ears stuffed full of esoteric garbage, the stuff of dead men, wax and ears, full of sewage, seaweed, the roar of forgotten oceans, or shells, or the shells and shit they beat the Indians with. And now, for our silence or compromise, what they can offer, paper and shells, to fill our ears or forget, to sing, made some improbable proposition, to get through the impenetrable noise, some genius we wanted to cry to the moon like weird, insane wolves of illusion or their racket. The stoppage, drained and collapsed with love and unsettled ears, or minds at all, or feel.
As we learn the language of Marxism and the language that the Black Panther Party uses, we'll be able to better explain to them what our program is in a language that they can understand, because we have trouble explaining to the Black Panthers what the differences are between the two organizations. If we could explain that difference in Marxist terms,
and at the same time we have a hard
clear up
time.
a whole level of communication.
At the same time we have a hard time explaining to them the similarity. Actually, the way I see it, and Rodney doesn't see it that way, is that his article is a contradiction to what I wrote.
You got to explain why, and here's where we disagree.
First of all, we should go put it in context. What is it in the rest of the paper and stuff.
This thing is just a statement about, abstract statement on music and revolutionary force bring people, It was originally written for Chicago, hippie thing, That's what the statement is at, and that's what it says. There's one line in it, it says, Woody Guthrie and Bob Dylan, considered their guitars as guns, symbology, both of them used. And this is where the problem is coming in, and the thing that bothers me, because actually the article isn't that strong, isn't as good as it could be, is that upon Ingenie, at least, feel that in this statement.
Yeah, but read the line. There's two lines in question, man, because the way they're down. The first line.
The guitar to Woody Guthrie and Bob Dylan is a gun. The first line is music is the revolution. Now, the issue really is this, that, or at least the way I see it, man, maybe if I'm seeing it wrong, then we can get it settled right away, is that you feel that, especially that I should say something about the line that you preferred was that we should carry both guitars and guns. It's a line that should be inserted there. Place of that. And
not necessarily that line, but that sort of idea.
Something on that.
Both.
Yeah. The reason being that if our policy is such that, of course, we want people to be able to defend themselves, have guns, that all articles should include these major.
Well, if you're going to talk about
No, I didn't say that, man.
Well, that's where I'm getting fucked up, man. That's the impression I have.
See, the way I read the article, and the way I understood it, starts out, the first sentence is, music is a revolution. Now, the people we're trying to relate to now, we're not just trying to relate to white people anymore, to white middle-class kids. We're trying to relate to revolutionaries the world over.
Well, here's where
we have to have internationalism. We have to be able to relate to the Vietnamese. If they read our stuff and say music is a revolution, you ain't gonna be able to tell no Vietnamese that.
Well, here's the problem we're really gonna
You ain't
have.
gonna be able to tell no Black Panthers that.
And I was trying to run down to you with this, that we have a really different kind of problem than the Black Panthers because our people and the people we represent have had a taste of Marxist-Leninist doctrines and have, it's repugnant, and the whole language is repugnant to a lot of people because of the context it was presented. Dig? So that it's easier for the Black Panthers to run down if we can talk in Marxist-Leninist terms.
See what we need for this is some Mao. Have you got Mao in here?
Yeah, that's what inspired the whole thing.
Yeah, but see,
I don't mean this quote. I mean some of the quotes from the chapter on Cultural Revolution.
I don't agree with the quote of Mao's in Pun's article because it starts off with a quote that says, "It is our duty to," well, I can paraphrase it, to force the art to represent.
What we're dealing with.
Have you read the chapter on Cultural Revolution?
Well, as the Minister of Art, can I make a statement on this whole situation?
That's putting an end to this destitution. What we need is a new revolution. The soil's my mother. I know I love her. She gives my baby hand. Welcome me home. The house of my father. The dream of my brother. I feel all alone. I wanna take up the wild man's cry. Take back this land, everybody get high. Just like an Aborigine. Just like an Aborigine. Just like an Aborigine. Just like an Aborigine.
it's all the same thing that we're dealing in, but it's the language, man. It's being able to say to a Black Panther, well, that's objective, that's objective materialism. They relate to that, and they're teaching their people.
Was this Sam's decision that we be treated as a Black Panther chapter? Does that mean only distribution?
I don't know. I didn't ask him.
See, the relationship was developed.
Bobby Seale told Gary and Gary's brother that, and Kali, he told Kali, and Kali told Gary and them that they should start implementing us into their educational programs. And Sam told me that they have educational programs on Saturday at the Black Panther office for the broad masses of people. And then on Sunday, they have educational programs for leadership.
Yeah. What's happening up front is that it's becoming a one-sided relationship where it's being run down. Is that, they're certainly our model, man, but there are things in our program and the way we relate to our people. And
today we're going to talk about exactly what we're doing. And I don't,
Well, that's what we're talking about. I got a lot clearer idea now than I ever did before.
Yeah, well.
Especially on the gun thing. Because I never had thought it through before.
Well, okay. Maybe we should talk about the media then. And the whole other thing, man.
Okay, can I...
Because to me, if everybody understood like I understand it, we'd be telling them things.
We are. I believe we are.
Yeah.
I believe we are.
Oh, yeah. It's a two-way process.
I mean, if all of us,
The thing that we have to maybe clear up, for
because our program is farther out than their
is
program.
that we don't have a relationship particularly between the Black Panther Party
because
and the Black
their
Panther
program
Party.
is dealing with liberation of the group. Our
colony.
Right on.
We're talking about the liberation of the mother country. Rebellion in the colony and revolution in the mother country. That's the job of the black and the white.
That's a great point,
Well, yeah.
put together.
All of their lines are great, man. I read everything. It's the greatest shit that's been, being done in the Black Panther paper is the only revolutionary newspaper in the country, And that's why I study it so much, and that's why everybody should study it so much, because we're dealing with papers and shit.
Cover to cover.
Yeah. And then that one issue of the Sun that we did, man, was a revolutionary paper, man. That one issue, the one with the first one, the second series that we did.
Yep.
I just look at that as evidence, man, that we were really ready even then.
The orange one. The orange
Yeah.
one. Yeah, right.
Warner, you were living in another century. This new one started where you were running around in circles chasing dangerous criminals to keep the city safe from marijuana and people like me. I know what you are, you told me last night, and when I get you again, you ain't getting off so easy. I'll drown you, you worthless prick, you said. But it won't be so easy next time, Warner, if there is a next time, because this whole new thing is getting so far out of your clutches, you don't even know what it is. Except you can sense it. With what senses you have left, you know somehow that things ain't what they used to be, that this world is changing so fast, you haven't even got a place in it no more. Your whole time, power, and control have no place in this world, Warner, and as long as you keep trying to hang on to them, you just get farther and farther behind until you die, Warner, until you're dead. Not too long ago, Warner, I would have given anything just to get my hands around your neck and choke you to death. But that time is past, there's no need of it, you'll die anyway. Anything will when it stops growing, and there's no more need for it in the world. There's no need for you now, Warner, though it may take 20 years before you or the people you have made it your life to lie to find out your uselessness and criminality. You can't make me a criminal, Warner. You should know that by now, and your prisons and courts don't scare me anymore. I know what you are, and I don't hate you anymore. I won't let you trap me in that tiny little bag of yours. I won't respond the way you have to have me respond, because it's too late for that now, Warner. It's just too late for those games. The whole fucking universe is right there in front of our eyes, and it's all I can do to stay open to it now while it's still my time. Even the 6 months you got me in your prison, Warner, only made me stronger and less afraid of the puny fear traps that are your only tool. What are you going to do, Lieutenant Stringfellow, when you have to try to arrest all the people younger than I am who smoke marijuana every day and don't even care about you at all? When you come to bust them, all they'll do is laugh in your face. You're so funny. You come on like someone on your TV set, all that 1930s shit, the 1950s. The century changed in 1960. You're as out of date as the House Un-American Activities Committee, who tried to scare the young cats in 1966, and these cats showed up wearing Revolutionary War costumes, laughing at you. This year they had Santa Claus suits. 1966, Warner. There's no thing to fear except your jails, and they'll fall soon. They're falling now. They don't mean anything anymore. And even if you kill us all off, Warner, that's no big thing. We just get born again, more and more aware of what's really happening in the universe. But it's too late to kill us all. You missed your chance in 1959 before the whole thing really started. You've been playing that funny shit for 2,000 years, and all you got is a gun and a badge and a house and a nice neighborhood and a car and a TV set, and you can't even talk to your own kids. They just don't want to hear it. You send them to psychiatrists, and they go over to somebody's house and smoke reefer, listen to the Fugs and John Coltrane and the Beatles, and don't even think about you until they have to go home. And what a drag that is, Warner, going home to their atrophied parents who are dying in their living room chairs, watching Batman on TV and dancing the Frug with Jackie Kennedy in their dreams. What kind of life have you got, Warner, when you have to sit and think about me for over 2 years and I'm 25 now? What are you going to do with all these fucking kids who are crazier than I am and don't care what you do? You ain't nothing to them. And in 4 years, Warner, half the U.S. population will be under 21 years of age. You're hooked, Warner Stringfellow. You're strung out. You shot so much of that dope in your head, that shit Harry Anslinger and Hoover sold you. But all it is junk, Warner, and you can't keep selling people junk forever. They get hip to you. They don't want any more of it. They've had enough. They want something real, Warner, and you just ain't got it to give to them. They don't care about titles no more, Warner. A lieutenant ain't nothing but a cop, and a cop ain't shit. They want to see who Warner Stringfellow is and what he does with himself. That badge and title ain't going to fool nobody no more. Not like it has. They'll do like I do and call you by your given name. That's all any man needs. You won't get me again, Warner, even if you lock me up again, because you're the one who's trapped in all that Aristotelian bullshit. The world is not black and white. It's all colors, Warner. All you need to do is open your God-given eyes and see it. And I hope you do. You're a man, too. All of us are. And every man is made to be free. I love you like I do any natural-born man, but you got to be a man, Warner, not a cop. You got to open yourself up or be shut off completely, as you are now, from the world of human beings. Come on out of that jail, Warner. Let your criminals go. You just trapped them in your silly bag, and there's no need for those games. We're all lovely and free, Warner. We're all human beings, and nothing you can do can ever change the universe. I get up to change the record, Eric Dolphy out to lunch at 7 in the morning, and the world changes too. It moves farther away from where you are. My wife turns over in bed. She's probably dreaming about you. You put her in jail too, Warner, but only overnight, and you took her man away for 6 whole months. We celebrated our first anniversary while I was in your jail, and it only made us stronger and more together than before. You see how puny your bullshit punishments are. And now, we'll bring our own baby into the world and see what it can do for you, even though you want to wipe out its father even before it's born. And my wife feels sorry for you, Warner, just to show you what you're up against with us. She really won't play your silly hate games. That poor man, she says, he must spend all his time thinking of how he'll get us. Doesn't he have anything better to do with his life? And what can you do with her, Warner? Shoot her? Lock her up? The problem is, what are you going to do with yourself, Warner Stringfellow? Let me leave you with that. What will you be in 5 years, Warner? An inspector? Like poor stupid Jimmy Fike at the House of Correction? Now Chief of Police in Inkster? Why don't you... Why don't you quit playing games, Warner, and grow up to be a man like the rest of us? This is the story you wanted me to write about you, Warner, the one you asked me about again last night, and it's the best I can do. I hope you can hear it. October 6, 1966. That was also the day they tried to make LSD illegal.
When it happened
type of operation for black people's liberation is very positive and it's not negative. When you have other peoples of other groups, etc., relating to it, even to the point of the white radicals. And we did not create the White Panthers at all. The White Panthers created themselves. It's more or less like, first the White Panthers created themselves, and they had some kind of psychedelic program. And we ran them out of our office. We told them we had no time for it. Say, you can blow all the dope you want. If we blow it, we blow it. But the thing is psychedelic programs ain't gonna solve these problems of black people. So what happened, I think, what's the guy's name? Sinclair? Sinclair and a number of other cats got together and really put some politics into it. And it came down righteously, revolutionary. So we said, the White Panthers. We say, that's absurd, you know. And so we'll say, we'll see what you do. And the cats turn out to be some beautiful cats. And so we shake their hands, you know, and right on and let them work in the white community like we told them that that's what you have to do, you know. And so it's good that they, you know, right. See, you can see what's happening. They must have been doing it right. They put Sinclair in jail and made a political prisoner out of it. And they're moving on the rest of the cats. And the fact that they, ruling class circles, the fat, rich, greedy, avaricious businessman, the demagogic lying politicians, this ruling class elite that's infested in the government bodies of America are moving with rapid speed to try and alter and counter all the people's progressive revolutionary moves for progressive revolutionary change. And right now it can be readily seen, although it's historically old with respect to black people, but it can be readily seen in the attempts to destroy the Black Panther Party. And the Black Panther Party stands this, and we always have understood it. It's the right to equality, the right to human existence, the right to land, water, and air is the basic thing that no one gives anyone. It's here for mankind on the face of this earth. But when private property and ownership of land gets to an extent that it's a grossly national and international exploiting operation and a tantamount of bombs and oppression and killing and murdering people is the means by which the low-life, scurvy ruling class circles try to maintain what they've taken and robbed from the people's labor, well, then it's time that the people see the necessity of moving against that power structure, moving against the ruling class circles, the avaricious businessmen, the demagogic politicians, with all their running dogs. It's time that people see that there are less than 10 million in this country. With all their Navy and Marines and police forces, there's only 1 million or so policemen in the country now. There was one time only 340,000 5 or 6 years ago, but there's nearly 1 million now. And people have to see that they outnumber them, and we have to move against them. So we say power to the people, and we hope the people move to end the oppression and stop the war against poor oppressed colored people in general and black people in particular. We're dedicated revolutionaries. We're either going to die, we're going to get murdered or killed, we're either going to go to jail, or we're going to be forced in exile. And that's only long enough to get back to battle some more to the day of victory. There are always attempts to try to break the spirit of political prisoners, but we know that you can jail a revolutionary, but you can't jail the revolution. It choked me so till I passed out. And the last thing I remember was the 4th time this one vicious dog, he's really a pig, and he struck me in my groin for the 4th time. And I passed out. And then I was in the hole. In the hole, there's nothing in there. It's just a box about 4 by 7. It's very high ceilings, and there's a hole in the floor for one to defecate, urinate, or what have you. And this hole in the floor is not, it's flush, it's a flushing mechanism that's used from outside. Well, every hour and a half or 2 hours or so, they would flush it. It was stopped up, and the defecation come back up out of the hole. Water, urinal, and crap all over the floor and everything. And this went on for 14 hours until another shift came on. Well, on one of the other shifts that came on, an officer decided to open the door. And he saw this defecation in water and crap an inch high and everything. And he had enough, this particular one, there's very few in here that have some kind of humane sense. But he had it cleaned out and, you know, used some sterile stuff in the mops and stuff and cleaned the whole thing out. We've been attacked, we're brutalized, we're murdered. Some 28 members of the Black Panther Party. And I don't want to just talk about the Black Panther Party, I want to talk about murders of black people as a whole, historically and presently.
This is a John Coltrane rhythm ballad for all. That's right. Not just for you and for me, but a rhythm ballad for all. I'm not going to tell you about anybody playing Tiny Ready kind of music. The old kind of Nickelodeon kind of music. But super high octane Grand Canyon kind of music. Full of cornucopia rewards at the end of any golden rainbow, baby. So sure, don't you despair. And I don't mean maybe when you hear me with my rhythm ballad for all. Now all of God's children haven't been born with a natural sense of rhythm. Some of them have not been born at all, in fact. But most of us folk just have to scuffle to keep from being really uptight, working in the factory all night. And now you know how we really have to scuffle with all those crazy machines going creak, crank, chugga, chugga, creak, crank, ooga, ooga, crash, bam, scream, splash, crash, tinkle, pop, blast, trickle, trickle, zing a ding dong. Then you go home at the end of the day with all that smog in your nose, and you got TB, they say. Why do you think I got a rose in my toes anyway? So then you go home, and your wife is stoned, and the kids are screaming, and the landlord ain't dreaming about you paying up that last month's rent right away. So you go down to the pawn shops, hock shops, any kind of loan shark, and sell your soul for a few bucks. Sell your whole life away. How many lives you got? One shot? Well, it's too bad, brother. Wish you had more so you could put those in hot too. But after a while, a real mellow kind of guy comes along, and he's got a case with him. Ain't a court case, or a medical case, or a suitcase, or a machine gun case. It's a saxophone case, and he's got one of those horns in there that plays all the happy melodies that you've been hearing on the jukebox. He's a real mellow kind of guy. Don't say much, rather shy. But he don't need to run all over the street, 'cause he's got it all up here, you dig? He's got it all up here. So he puts his horn together and gives that good reed a good lick. A piano man sits down and a bass player is on the stand, and there's that man from Pontiac sitting way up there in back with blast furnaces in his eyes and air hammers for hands. And you know when he's got that horn, when John's got that horn up to his mouth, 'cause he's squeezing out all the things in this horrible world, all those ghastly factories and rusted auto dumps and sewers and slaughterhouses and prisons. He's squeezing them into little spitballs or little insects and crawling things tumbling out of the horn bell of his sax. And this is what he's saying. Computer, 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 prepare. Prepare to release forward launching pad. Something's gone wrong with missile number 3. Striking potential. Striking potential. Striking potential of 1.7 billion combat divisions that can be airlifted overseas within days. seas within days. Within days. 1,000 guided missiles within days. The Marshals fought back. The Marshals fought back against. The Marshals fought back against the test ban. The Marshals fought. The Marshals, the test ban. Hello. Hello, hello, Zulu Charlie. With all these backups. Hello. Zulu Charlie. This is Reno. With a purple dot message. And a high electrical line. Painted pale green. With all these backups. With all these backups and inhibitors. We're like robots all the way. With technical reminders. And weather report. And fingerprints. And intelligence quotient. And piss quotient. That will never face up to the guns versus butter issue. The guns versus butter issue. Pale green, like robots, terminal wine, high weather backup, quotient Marshall test ban. Hi, this is Reno Marshall with a test ban message. Painted yellow green piss quotient on the guns versus butter, intelligence versus butter, computer, striking potential. My mama done told me when I was a jack boots that we'd be like robots, 1.7 million. The Marshals, piss quotient, test, ban, launch, pan, high, electrical, wine. This is a John Coltrane rhythm ballad for all. That's right, not for you and for me, but a rhythm ballad for all. I'm not going to tell you about anybody playing Fatty Reddy kind of music, any old kind of Nickelodeon kind of music, but super octane, Grand Canyon kind of music, full of cornucopia rewards. At the end of any golden rainbow, baby. So Sheriff, don't you despair. And I don't mean maybe. When you hear me with my John Coltrane rhythm ballad for all. That's right. When you hear me with my rhythm ballad for all. You got it. When you hear me with my rhythm ballad for all. Hitting on one. When you hear me with my John Coltrane rhythm ballad for all. That's right. My John Coltrane rhythm ballad for all. That's right. You got it. One more time now. My John Coltrane rhythm ballad for all. Hitting on two, and that's your cue.
We work with everybody from a position of solidarity and unity and reinforcement of what they're doing, and then make our work to be to freakize them, that's what I call it, is to turn them into freaks, And that's our, position in working with mother country elements of any kind, I think. Especially people who are on the borderline, people like Buck Davis and like Sheila Murphy. I mean, I like to freakize them, they're into a working class ideology now because they think that's correct. They don't have any emotional allegiance, so they're on the borderline,
What are you going to do to freakize?
Well, you just try and turn them on, turn them into freaks like we did to people before.
I think it's probably easier to freakize women because
because objectively
they're being oppressed, and they can see the advantage that our way of living has for them as individuals,
The objective basis for them to be freakized exists,
be the lucky one, or the one with your number written all over it. 123 507 in the poet's case, walking out the front door of the penitentiary, 8:30 p.m., 14 years ago today. 2 times 7 years, the cycle of struggle to make it through in one piece, on the yard or in these streets. Anyone who can pick up a frying pan owns death, Burroughs said. And sometime in New York City, coming back from the recording studio, walking up to his front door, John Lennon with a gun stuck in his face. Oh, oh, sweet giant of song, with heart of huge dimension and eyes deep in the sky. There has to be a day when each of us must pass beyond this tedious sphere to enter some wondrous place of which we do not know whether we're ready or not, some other place or space out of time where no punk with a weapon will ever press you again or blow off your face out of the depths of his madness. No one will hold us against our will in a cell with bars in front and back, 8 feet by 6 feet by 10 feet high. No one will take us out of our natural lives and send us away from here by means of some murderous fantasy in which we are denied everything we have lived for. Oh, please let us die at the end of our own time and not before, free in our world of strife. Let us have life as long as we can, and please let there be men like Monk and John Lennon to share of their hearts and light up our ways as long as we may